morning. It's Henry and Mowers and Blowers. Welcome to another episode. It's a busy time of season this year, and I've got plenty to do. I even have neighbors coming around asking me if I'd fix their shit.
I don't know what's going on.
How are you? Busy, huh?
Choke is messed up. I put a new carburetor on yesterday. I thought it was the carburetor.
Wow, really?
I told him if he left it with me, he's going to owe me money. So I'm trying to save him money. I gave him a gas tank to try gravity feed first, to rule out the fuel lines and fuel pump and all that stuff. I don't want to take his money unless it's absolutely necessary. So he's like, okay, I'll try it. I'll probably see it back again. I don't know what it is with the neighbor's brother, but my other neighbor's brother dropped by, unannounced, came over and rang my doorbell. I was like, who the hell is this yahoo?
You know, it's my season.
Can you look at my mower?
All right. My back is killing me from the last job.
The self-propulsion doesn't work either?
No.
So it doesn't turn?
No.
Dude, this might be expensive, man.
Oh, yeah?
So I fixed your brother's mower for only $50 because all he had was carburetor. You know what I mean?
One time when I moved back and then start working.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll check it out.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
so it runs, right? It just leaks.
Uh-huh.
So it does run.
Not run.
Oh, it doesn't run.
No.
We need you to donate $1 or $2.
It's flooded.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let me know. Maybe not so expensive.
Yeah, I'll let you know how much it's going to cost, and you tell me if you want me to do it. You know what I mean? But I got to check it out, see what's wrong with it first.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you.
Man, am I busy. This belongs to my neighbor's brother, who lives down there, 3 houses down. I fixed his Cub Cadet once last year. Charged him $50. Cleaned his carburetor. That was it. His brother brought this to me yesterday. And this is actually the newest Toro recycler I've ever worked on. It's a 2019 22-inch wide Toro recycler personal pace. This is the TXP overhead valve engine. You know what this is? That's right. My second Toro Loncin engine in a row. So when he brought it to me yesterday, he says it won't start and gas was pouring out of the carburetor. I had to put a vice clamp on the fuel line really quick to stop the flowing. It was flowing out of the carburetor like you wouldn't believe. This has a feature that's called PoweReverse. Get the hell out of here, PoweReverse. I don't understand what that is. Typical Loncin engine, just like I worked on the other day. It's got about a quarter tank of gas. It's 159 cc, 7.25 pounds of torque. Guaranteed to start sticker again. Ha! It's guaranteed to start. How come it doesn't start right now? Duh. It's in pretty good shape. The guy obviously doesn't take care of it at all. And also he said that the forward and reverse self-propulsion doesn't work at all. Well, before I filmed this video, I was checking out this thing. This thing wasn't even tight. Therefore, this thing was super loose, going up and down. So when you engage the personal pace type thing by pushing down while you're walking, this pulls tight. This thing was just moving freely. So I just tightened this and it seems pretty snug now. I'm not sure if it'll work now, but I think that was the issue. So when we take the vice grip off, it should start pouring gas out. It has to fill the bowl fully, and then it comes out the mouth of the carburetor. I did check the oil. The oil was at level. It smelled kind of a little bit like gas, but not bad. Well, it doesn't seem to be leaking now. Maybe something seated. Let's try to start this baby, huh? Still not leaking. Doesn't feel like much compression. Doesn't show any signs of it starting. I just checked the spark plug boot. It was barely on there. Doesn't seem to make a difference. So the bail handle cable, when you depress it, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of travel, almost like the cable stretch. So I wonder if the brake mechanism is still killing it. I'm going to get a clamp. See how it just moves that less than an inch? It doesn't go its full travel. Okay, that's the full travel all the way. And it's now leaking, but no signs of starting at all. Let's check the choke flap. The choke flap is completely open. Look at that gas.
Gonna pour that back in there, Henry?
Yeah, it's perfectly good gas. Let it run for another additional 10 seconds. Holy cow. It's completely soaked. Look at it pouring out, man. Let's stop the fuel. And it is choked. What it is probably flooded, which is why it doesn't start. Spark plug is totally wet. Got to stop this leak, wherever it's from. Let's take that air cleaner base out and see where the fuel is leaking from. If it's internally where the needle is completely seated and it's not coming down, or is it from the bowl gasket? Chinese engine, 10 millimeter. And that was not very tight at all. You have to have a good seal of the carburetor onto the intake. I'm going to tighten this back on here again without the air cover. That's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. I'm going to dry off the carburetor and then release that vice grip, and so that we could see visually with our eyes where the fuel is coming from. The mouth right here where the flap is means that there's something wrong with the needle internally, or if it's coming from the gasket on this bowl, then it's the bowl gasket that's deteriorated. It's seeping from the mouth of the carburetor, which means that there's something internally going on, whether the float has a crack in it and it's now filling up with fuel so that it's not raising and closing the needle on the seat, so fuel is just freely going into the crankcase, which is why the spark plug is probably super wet, and that's why it'll never ignite and it won't pop. We're going to have to take this carburetor off, but let's just see real quick if it'll start from me tightening the carburetor onto the intake. Actually, I want to remove the spark plug just to prove that it is super wet. It is drenched with fuel. Really good condition, brand new spark plug. Gap seems to be okay, but it's really wet. Let's see if we pull it, does stuff come out the front? It may not. I pinched it off. Dry it off so that it's dry ski. And I guess we could test and see if we have some kind of spark going on. See if we have spark. I couldn't see it. Was there any spark? Okay. I looked at the video. I saw spark. So we know it has spark, which means that the thing is engaged, the brake cable from the bail handle. But that is with the clamp on there. But it still doesn't start, so it's probably not the issue. All right, now it's dried off. Spark plug. Let's see if it'll turn over now.
As you can see, now the self-propulsion does work. Easy fix on that self-propulsion. I'm trying to figure out now how the reverse thing works. I'm trying to test it to see how does it go backwards too. So how it works is you have to actually pull it naturally.
So it says power reverse, just pull back. Goes forward, doesn't pull back. Doesn't go reverse like it says. So it pops a lot. What does the popping mean? Popping sometimes means either water in the gas tank, timing is off, or you got valve issues. But it starts on the first pull easily. Doesn't struggle over the compression stroke. It's probably not the valves. But it could be the flywheel key slightly sheared so that it's slightly off, or it could just be the carburetor. The needle seems to be stuck. We should take the carburetor off and open it up. Just remove the two bolts again. Undo this clamp. This part, this linkage that goes to the choke flap, this is for the link that goes to the thermostat on the muffler for the auto choke. So you just pry this open like this. It should pop out. Let that hang. Over here you have the thin wired thing. Take that out. Turn this bendy, lift it up, and there is the throttle and small tension wire hanging. Only two connections here. Then there's this thing. How do I get this thing out? Oh, okay. Go back here, twist it, comes out like that. Do not lose this. And remember the orientation. Take a picture before you remove it so you know what the linkages look like. Okay, I remember this is a Z-bend. It's hard to come off anyway. Yep, something's wrong, because when it's vertical like this, you blow to mimic fuel flowing in. It's supposed to freely go in because the bowl is down, the float is down. So it does blow. But then you flip it upside down, you mimic that the float is now seating the needle into the hole, so you cannot blow in. But I can. So there's something's up inside here. Okay, we're going to remove the bowl nut now. Do not use an impact. I know my impact very well, and the amount of speed. Use a wrench or a socket. Gasket looks okay, a little thin, but it looks clean and new. Remember orientation? I mean, who knows if somebody took this apart, but I always remember this nut over here is in the front, usually. And it's kind of off-center, you know what I mean? Gasket looks good, and inside is relatively clean. There's a piece of debris in there. Not terrible. And here we go. And that float. See, it seems like when you do this, the needle's not moving at all. It's supposed to move down. Let's remove the pin. Hold the float. Remove the needle and float together. Spring loaded, so be careful. There we go. I mean, everything looks new and in order. I don't understand it. Unless the spring had something to do with it. It's kind of dirty in there, which could prevent the rubber from seating in the hole. That gasket just came off the bowl. It's going to be a pain. I just adjusted that spring. So now look. Can you guys see that? When you lift the float, the needle goes along with it. Before it didn't do that. I think because the spring just came misaligned and was in like the canal where the needle fits in, and it wasn't giving any tension. But now it moves, opens and closes. So when it's down like this, vertically, you blow. Clearly, fuel or air is going through. Then you flip it upside down to mimic that the bowl is full of fuel. And now it doesn't. So that's it. I think that was the issue. Just a misaligned spring where the needle is. I'm going to take this off again and clean that area because I thought it was kind of dirty. That would prevent it from seating. Contact cleaner, not carb cleaner, because carb cleaner blows up your gaskets. Contact cleaner does not. This is what it is. Contact cleaner. Doesn't blow the gaskets. Don't take my word for it. A lot of people watch my videos. They buy contact cleaner. They're like, Henry, you're right. It doesn't blow up gaskets. Yeah, I told you that in my videos. So inside here, as you can see, there's a slotted jet in there. That's the main jet. Usually if your carburetor is really dirty, remove that. It's very difficult to remove. Once you remove that, there's like a stud, like a shaft with little tiny holes in it. Clean that out, and that's your main jet. Put it back in, should be clean. But this thing runs on its own. No need, because it's not clogged. It runs on its own. If it runs on its own, it's fine. Don't overthink things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we will clean it a little by doing this. And that is your emulsion tube. See? Clear. This is for your primer. Didn't surge, so I'm not going to touch the pilot jet. If it's not broken, don't fix it. This always bothers me why they have gaskets there with a hole, but there's no hole there. I'm going to put this back together again. All right, as you saw, I put everything back. Pretty straightforward, very easy. No leaks. You know what? I feel the reverse now. Push it forward, slides back. Look at this, one finger. Wow. That's cool. That's the first time I've ever felt that kind of sensation before. It was like, I was wondering why this seemed kind of funny, right? But there's some kind of mechanism that's spring-loaded, right? That if it's, when you're pulling back, it goes down some, and that's what allows it to go back by itself. It's really cool. How about that? As you heard, after that carburetor clean, it doesn't pop anymore. Sounds great. Doesn't leak anymore either. Self-propulsion's fixed. Carburetor's clean. Doesn't leak anymore. This thing's great. Runs fantastic. How about it?
He brought me this also to fix. I kind of squirmed a little bit when he gave it to me, but I'm like, I really don't want to waste time on two-stroke stuff, right? I said, do you want to just buy a used one? I have like 8 of them. He's like, no, I like this one. I'm like thinking to myself, if I spend more than an hour on this thing, it's going to cost you more than $50 just to fix it. You know what I mean? It's not even worth it. How much is this thing? $129 at Home Depot? $139? What are you gonna do? Spend $50 on it? And anyway, I mean, some people just do not take care of their shit. You know what I mean? That mower is just trash and dirty and stuff. Look at the condition of this Echo weed trimmer. Just look at this. It's disgusting. God. He says that it runs for like a minute and then it dies. What is that problem? That problem is an obvious problem. The diaphragm in the carburetor gets worn out over a few years and it stops pumping the gas from the gas tank to the carburetor. It's a very common problem. It's an easy fix and it's cheap to fix, but you'll have to wait to get a carburetor. So that's all you got to do is swap the carburetor out to the new one. Usually you buy the aftermarket ones. Listen, there's a lot of talk about aftermarket carburetors. Honestly, when I use HIPA carburetors, and I'm not shitting you, you guys have seen my HIPA carburetor videos, 9 out of 10 are perfect. Carburetor like that costs you 10 bucks. And yes, sometimes they do fail. But you want to go buy an OEM one for $50? For $50, you can buy 5 of these. You don't think out of 5 you're going to have one that runs perfect? If that first one runs perfect, you have 4 spares. Whatever. You guys want to stick with OEM and get the $500, $100 carburetors? Have at it. It's your money. Anyway, we're gonna see if this works. You can just tell that this carburetor is pretty much trashed because it barely pushes fuel in and really takes a long time to refill that bulb. See what I mean? I know you know what I mean. It's on. Choke. Assumably this is choke. Ooh, first pull. Run. Sounds okay to me. Guys, look at my lawn. You guys saw this lawn like 2 months ago? This is like mud here. I could have sworn it had a trimmer string before. I sure hope this head is one of those easy feed kinds where you just shove it in there. Okay, as you guys saw, it died. You try to start it again. And also, if you put in the reel going the other direction, it sucks up your coil, the string, not extend it out. So I have to reverse it. So yeah, so the problem is the carburetor. Diaphragm, after you use it for a while, it gets really stiff, so it no longer pumps fuel. And then the carburetor is starved for gas and it dies. So you simply have to just replace the carburetor. It's $10. There could be other issues with it. like the spark arrestor is clogged or foul spark plug. But I mean, when it's running, it runs crisp, clean, doesn't bog or anything, doesn't need a fuel adjustment because you throttle it up to full power. It handles it without bogging down. So it's adjusted correctly, the throttle has full range. To me, it's just replacing the carb. So to find out if I have this carb in stock, I have no idea. If I do, we'll swap it out. If not, I'm gonna have to order one.
Okay, new reel is in. And then I tried to start it again and it wouldn't start. Maybe I should put some more.
So I just used this for about 20 minutes. Did my whole yard. It's been idling here for about 10 minutes. If the diaphragm was bad, it would have died in less than 30 seconds. I did add fuel in there, clean as air filter. That's all I did. It seems to run just fine now. And it did a fine job. Seems to work just fine. Nothing left to do but give them a call and say, hey, your shit's fixed. We're running for about 35 minutes now. If it was the diaphragm, it would have died by now.
So you know what? I'm pretty impressed. I kind of like this thing. It's really good. Brand new back in 2019. It was $449 plus tax. This thing would be worth over $550 now, easily. Pretty good mower. Like I said, yes, it is a Loncin Chinese engine, but Loncin is a very famous brand in China. They started off making scooters, motorbikes and stuff. Everybody knows Loncin in China. And quite a lot of manufacturers in America here do put Loncin engines on. I haven't had many problems with Loncin engines. It's only the power mowers that I've seen blown up a lot. So I think that's a pretty decent engine. It's a really cool mower with that reverse thing. That's cool. So everything's all fixed. Didn't take too long at all. I enjoyed it. Helps me learn more about Loncin carburetors too. Pretty easy to work with. They're very similar to Kohler's. Kohler XT675s. That's what it looks like. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to bring you small engine equipment content like this one. Have a great day, fellas. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.